The next poet I'm about to call is a South African author, publisher, spoken word artist, theater actress, TEDx speaker, founder and managing director of Mtsugo Publishing Consultancy, which is a 100% black-owned company who already has 3 poetry collections under her belt. Everybody, please welcome Mamelodi-born Nkateko Masinga.
I wrote you love poems while the world was burning. I became water and doused the flames your body was engulfed in. I loaned you my body, charred from the womb, can't burn what is already black. I did not get out in time to save myself. I remember the night that we stayed up. It was midnight here. It was sunset where you are. And I asked you questions. Do I leave my country or do I stay and build a better one? And if I want to leave, where do I go? And if I want to build, who has the tools? And you said, love, I can't talk now, the sky is on fire. But when I looked up, I saw only ash and embers. The way a man's grip on your hand loosens is like the embers of a dying flame flickering and fading out. The way your grip on his hand tightens is like the embers of a dying flame still raging pathetically beside their source. Bless nature and its inevitable course. You can always stay, fan the flames, but he will be warmth and light for someone else. He will be burn wounds for you, fire nonetheless. And this love will never again resemble the burning bush. But when you walk away from him, take off your shoes. At least pretend that you're still standing on holy ground. On losing a lover who said that he was going for a walk but has still not returned, I did not wear mourning clothes. I did not grieve in 5 stages. I did not call my mother or a friend or an anonymous help hotline. On losing a lover who said that he was going for a walk but has still not returned, I did not collapse on the bathroom tiles or the kitchen floor or anywhere else. Instead, I sat down with pen, paper, and calculator, and I wrote down a question. How long would it take this man to walk all the way around the world and then back to me? And I calculated the hours that it would take for him to come back. I calculated the days that it would take for him to come back. I calculated the years that it would take for him to come back. Then I sat by a window overlooking the city, and I waited. and waited and waited. Dear Richue, why did you leave the women in your country with their kneecaps bruised from begging you to stay? With prayer beads hugging their knuckles, begging God to bring you back. Who else can they speak to when the men who know their tongues have stopped listening? Your mother chants in Ochi Herero, Ami hiri onyama, Ami hiri onyama. I no longer eat meat. I no longer eat meat. She started fasting when you left. When you came here, you taught me geology, that sand dunes are made from wind and water, and now you worship my brown eyes because they remind you of the Namib. Sand and sea, turmoil and tears, all the things that you ran away from only to find them again on my face. You don't know this, but back home, they worship your absence. Your grandmother burns incense to replace the scent of your departure with something less sinister. You say that you came here to bring love to the shores at my feet, but you have worked your way up to form continents on my thighs, islands on my chest. You call it geography, I call it abuse. Broken bones and contusions are barrier reefs and countries to you. I shouldn't love you this way. I shouldn't let you stay. But every time you touched me, I can't help but say, welcome home, love. Welcome home. I wonder if leaving home made me this way. Childless, yet wondering if I would raise my children here, or even have them at all if they would grow up wishing that their skin was disposable, with a label that reads, to be peeled off when blackness becomes too heavy, with a label that reads, caution, this country needs you to be lighter than the soil back home. This country needs you to be lighter than the luggage you left behind when you escaped the war. But we are too dark, aren't we? We are too heavy. In art class, I was taught that brown is a combination of 3 colors. Red, for the blood of those who died on their way here. Yellow, for the sun that shines even on those we left behind. And blue, for the sky we all look up into, hoping that tomorrow will be better. In art class, I was taught that my body is death, sunshine, and prayer. And if my children are to believe in any trinity, then let it be that one. I know that I will give birth to babies who will grow up to ask, Mama, how do you say Rudorwangu in English? Children who will come home confused because other children have eyes the color of the ocean while theirs look like the sand. I will ask them, Mwananga, do the two not meet at the shore? Does the ocean not visit the sand like a lover bearing gifts? I will mask my sadness. I will not tell them how the ocean came to wash away our castles, made us forget our royalty, erased the stories engraved in our sandy skin. I will not teach them white supremacy when I know Simbarashe is enough. I want them to know that their eyes are the color of the wooden floorboards that creaked beneath their feet the wooden floorboards that creaked beneath their mother's feet before the war sent her running. So sometimes life gives you a plot twist when you think you've got it all figured out. So there I was writing poems for my dark-skinned future babies, and then I found myself in an interracial relationship, and then I had to reimagine what these children would look like because now, okay, they're not going to be dark-skinned babies, so what now? And this poem was about that situation because there's something about whiteness that makes it difficult for them to see anyone else. They see themselves, and yet we see them. And this poem is called Dinner Date Through a Two-Way Mirror. You ask me where I want to go on dates. And I say, do you know those two-way mirror rooms in cop movies? It'll be like a video call that isn't quite connecting, so I can see you, but you can't see me. Because isn't that what it will be like for us? And isn't it the worst thing in the world that girls that look like me are disappearing, and girls that look like me don't make it home, and girls that look like me are found near rivers, strangled by the dirty water? So are you sure you want to stay with me and have to explain why our daughter will look like you, but not quite enough to be your daughter, but maybe enough not to be strangled by the dirty water? 5 years down the line, I will take our child to the park and someone will ask, where did you find this baby? I will point to my stomach and they will laugh. So are you sure you want to stay and have to explain why our daughter will look like you, but not quite enough to be your daughter, but maybe just enough not to be strangled by the dirty water? So the next phase in this relationship was me thinking, okay, let's leave the country together. And now this was me trying to get a visa to to join my lover in another part of the world. It's called Interview Questions at the US Embassy. One, can you prove you have strong ties to your country? Yes, I am my mother's child. On the phone, she says I sound like I am not eating. Sorry, what was the question? 2, please describe the purpose of your intended travel. For my heart. Do you mean you're going overseas for heart transplant surgery? Do you need a visa for medical treatment? No. I'd stretch my heart across the globe to reach his, but no, that's not what I mean. 3, is there someone who will be responsible for you while you are in the United States? Yes. I write him love songs every day. He sets the clock 6 hours ahead to listen. It's not exactly time travel, but it's the best we can do for now. 4, are you planning any terrorist activity on this visit? I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. 5, do you have any questions for us before you go? Yes, I saw a headline about an African development summit in America with no Africans present. Can you tell me what was discussed? I mean, I just want to know, what are my chances? 6, thank you, ma'am, we'll call you. What do you mean? Is my visa approved now? Can I go? So this is about one of the other challenges that you face in an interracial relationship where people will question your lover's accent. A stranger comments on your lover's accent and you have no mouth for a week. You say, "He's not from here." The stranger says, "You can't trust a man who thinks answer rhymes with cancer." One. Your brain is a traitor. It catches only the last word of her sentence, cancer. You are not ready for the onslaught of images from the oncology ward. On Sunday, you stood too long staring at baby shoes at the store and your sister had to pull you out. Ausi, I am praying for a child, but also for my health. Is it wrong to want both? The words you couldn't say to your sister stumble out of you here. Wrong place, wrong time, but at least you have a mouth. Remember when you dated the boy who loved geography? He used to say, "The place where a river enters the ocean is called a mouth. Girl, I love your mouth." And you said, "I cry a lot. My eyes are a river. Is the rest of my face the ocean? I don't understand." And he said, "Shh. I think men only love my mouth when it is not moving, not saying no, not protesting, not biting, not screaming, not cursing, not saying no. I swear I said no, but who hears you when you have no mouth? But you have a mouth today. So when a stranger comments on your lover's accent, you tell her, "He's not from here," but she's already gone. So you can tell that our visa got rejected. So now we're stuck in South Africa and brother is gone and we're trying to make sense out of absence. So here is a recipe for making sense out of absence. Ingredients: one trip to parts of the city you had never seen before him. One day off, just one. 3 questions for him. Are you coming back? I should be afraid, shouldn't I? 2 memories. His smile. Him saying, "You are so beautiful and I am leaving," in the same breath. Method. Mix ingredients and bake for 3 months. Call a friend and say, "I tried the recipe, it didn't work. I added sadness to the soup and I cried so much my face thought it was raining. I grew flowers on my cheeks. Do you have a razor blade? Was I meant to add the sadness first or last?" Special precaution. Do not reheat what is already burning. I have 3 books, The Sin in My Blackness, A War Within the Blood, and While the World Was Burning. And they're all available at Adam's Books outside. So do the right thing. Thank you.